Hey, I'm here with the Von Dwells, Oregon Surf. How are you guys?
We're
Good,
good.
we're
Thanks for having
good.
us, Ryan.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure. Um, Before we go any further, everybody introduce yourselves, and what instruments you play.
All right. I'm Rob Von Dwell. I play the bass, sorta.
I'm Grant. I play guitar.
I'm Rick. I play the drums.
It's awesome to have you all here. And very cool that you're wearing that Destroyer shirt.
I know, I'm a little jealous.
Got to represent the Northwest.
I got my work shirt on and he came in style.
So this last couple of months, a lot going on in the Portland area, some like North Pacific Northwest, like pretty intense surf stuff going on up there. Why don't you tell me about that?
Well, we
Grant, you
just
want to
had,
handle that?
sure, why not? We just had the Ghastly Ones Satan's Pilgrim show about a week and a half ago. That was great to have them up here. I kind of thought, SG 101 was probably going to be it for being able to see the Ghastly Ones. They were kind of one of the original, bands that got me into surf. So it's been really cool to see them a couple times. And then Tien always does the Surf by Surfwest up in Seattle. Tons of great bands up there too, Destroyers and Boss Martians and
Yeah.
uh, Woodhaven, huge list. Um, and so I think that kind of covers it. The Santa Ana Coconuts just came through though from Belgium.
Yeah,
So it was fun to be able to see them. And
they're fun.
yeah,
That was a fun show. There was like six people in the bar. It was pretty great.
They're just they did a like a rehearsal video for our channel, and I don't know, they just had a blast, and they're like, let's do it. And they have that dull tones kind of, let's just have like a blast, that European style. I don't know. It was just something about them.
They were definitely having fun at that show.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So,
the right attitude.
yeah. So tell me about the Von Dwells. I mean, when I hear the name, like it transports me back to my childhood. So,
Well, the name all credit goes to Rob for sure on that one. Although I don't know, Grant, if you were also in the mix on that as well.
Well, Grant and
well,
I had been tossing name ideas back and forth for a couple of months. And one day we were texting each other and throwing names out, and just the Von Dwells just, appeared out of the ether. And later that day, Grant's like, that name has been sticking with me. So we went with it.
excellent. Excellent. For people that are just getting familiar with you, tell us about your sound. I mean, there's traditional, but also like a really kind of aggressive sound at some points. T
Yeah.
tell me about like what gets you all pumped up for like to write those songs.
Grant, you want to field that one right now? You've written most
um,
of our originals.
yeah. Honestly, that's kind of just what comes out when I sit down and play. I think most of us grew up, playing in punk bands at some point.
Yeah.
Um, and so, some of that aggression just kind of came through. Um, and it's a lot of fun to play. And with, Rick being able to just beat it as hard as he can and go for it, it really makes it kind of opens it up for the rest of us having a good drummer that, can kind of just go with whatever we decide to do.
Rick is our secret weapon. That guy, he just absolutely kills it. I feel so fortunate that he's in our band. Excuse me.
And
Because he really works at it and he's great.
Rick, I would guess, you being the drummer, that you're in at least 5 bands
Uh,
and play 12 instruments?
so the instruments, no. I've always kind of I've tried other instruments and it just never really took. But I mean, over the decades, I mean, I played you name a genre and a band, I've played in it.
Except surf.
Except surf, yeah. And so my thing with coming into the band is, I mean, Rob, I work with Rob, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to play in this band? It's surf rock." And my frame of reference is I didn't really have much of anything. So
But
I came
you,
into this,
to your credit, man, you just like, yeah, okay. There was
yeah.
barely a hesitation. He's like, yeah, let's do it.
And it just so happened, like my other kind of full-time band, we had a couple members move away, and so now I was like, yeah, I'm all in. Let's give this a try and see if things work. And it's just a super super fun style of music to play. I had no idea. And yeah, like Grant said, as far as the aggression goes, it's less planned and more just like it's just fun as hell to play loud and fast. I mean, I'm sure as we continue on, we'll experiment with different things. But so far, barnstormers are just super super fun. So
So, like Portland has always been quite a like a melting pot of genres, right? Like describe, like I've never been to Portland, so describe what that's like. I've known people when I lived in Monterey, California, they're like, the hell with this, I'm moving to Portland just because of the music.
There's a lot of music going on up here. If you want good honky tonk, it's here. If you want sludgy doom metal, it's here. There's punk. There's oh that weird, not weird because I like it. That kind of punky goth folk stuff is happening. I mean, the Von Dwells are really happening. There's just a lot of stuff going on up here, and if you have taste in almost anything, you can find it here.
Nice, nice. Um,
yeah, I'd say just from my experiences playing in Portland, yeah, such a wide variety of music genres. But I think the one thing that always sticks with me is scrappy, like scrappy, but in a good way. Like not always the cleanest. It's not going to be the most technically precise. Although we try to be, of course. But I think that's the fun of it. It's just like no matter what you play, there's just so much like heart and soul to it because it's just like the whole range of people, like either I don't know how to play my instrument and I'm going to do that really well, or I really know how to play my instrument and I'm going to do that really well. But in less of like a shreddy way, like an LA, no, not to knock LA, I'm only thinking of like rock bands, but
right.
just in a way that's just kind of fresh and just loose, which makes just for really fun shows, I think.
Awesome. What did you guys think of the Satan's Pilgrims Lauderdale collaboration from Pink Martini?
That's been a
I
lot of fun. I've got to see them play with that a couple times up here. Once in Eugene, once out in Troutdale, which is just east of Portland. So that's been fun to be able to see. Well, also they also did a record release show where they played the whole album.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Pilgrims did a set of their own stuff, and then Thomas came out and they did the whole album, and that was just an absolute blast.
Yeah.
And I mean, their shows always are.
Yeah. I would say I haven't seen Satan's Pilgrims, but Tom Lauderdale is like, he steals the show because I saw Pink Martini in Philadelphia, and China Forbes is just magical. And then but Tom was just like cracking one-liners the whole time, and he's bouncy and happy, and he just brings that to the Satan's Pilgrims. That combo, I was just like, what a brilliant idea.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to be able to see some shows.
Awesome. What are you doing as far as release wise? Like this interview will be out very soon, so I want to kind of nab where you're gonna be in the coming that last couple of months of this year, 2024, going into 2025. You seem to really be picking up some momentum, getting attention. Online, I've noticed the powers that be like paying attention. Like people are paying attention to you. So tell us all what's
That's
going on.
that's fairly exciting because we haven't released anything other than just, practices in my garage. Our first show actually is not until December 7th. Um, so we're just working every weekend, trying to put in about 3 hours getting our set together. I think next year, if everything falls into place, maybe we'll try and cut a single or something like that. We've
Yeah,
got some possibilities around here for studios. We have friends who have studios and things like that. So
yeah.
we haven't really talked too much about that or gone down that road yet. We're still trying to just go from the walking to running and get the band up and running and playing some shows and see how that goes.
You're I have to say before we go any further, um the fact that you when I look up bands, if I see like a rehearsal video on Instagram, that's the first thing I'm clicking. And
Okay.
when you came up in suggestions, because I follow so many surf bands and I'm constantly like going down that rabbit hole, I found you guys, and that was the first thing I clicked on was that post. I think there was two or three of them.
Yeah, we
I
put a
think we have
couple up.
two up at this
And,
point. Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, okay. And then I saw some fanzines and like people were reacting, and I'm like, okay, people are paying attention. And I was like, yeah, these guys are. Unless I'm missing something, like I'm missing a release, I'm like, I gotta find out where to buy this. Like,
I
yeah,
wish we did have something, hopefully soon, but
yeah, you
next
guys
year.
are ready so damn tight.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
That means a lot for me too, because like I said, I'm very new to the thing, to all of this, and so it took for me personally, it took a lot for me to get like the pocket on these tracks. I
Yeah,
remember the first few practices, it was just so foreign to my kind of muscle memory, because I'm used to kind of playing the much more stripped down, like indie rock stuff is what I kind of did for a decade and a half. And so this was just like I literally I had a blister on my thumb. I have a picture of a blister on my thumb like the size of a dime after practice. My arm was like going to falling asleep. It was just like I was like, this is the CrossFit of music for me. What is happening?
yeah.
Um, and
There's
so
a
so to hear feedback that it sounds tight
yeah.
as the drummer who's trying to keep up with these guys, that means a lot.
Oh, it's not. It doesn't seem that way at all. As a matter of fact, in this style of surf music that road you're going down, it seems like your drumming is what's leading the pack in those two videos that I saw. Like that's the driving force. And it reminded me, I have a video in one of my playlists. It's Slack Tone doing Miserly, and you just watch Dusty Watson, and he's just eyeballing him, like he's waiting, like he doesn't know when it's coming, and then he doesn't even count it. He's just like boom, like he's just feeling it, though. Like you said, he's in the pocket the whole time, and it's just like his arms are going back and forth, and he's like an octopus, and if you can find that video, or I'll send it to you on Instagram, it really is a treat. And I have to say, he's one of my Slack Tone is one of my favorites, and you guys
They're
kind of
good.
reminded me of that sound.
Oh, dang, that's quite a
Very
compliment.
cool.
They are an amazing band.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
You know, I think we definitely have one foot in the old, 60s traditional sound, but at least for Grant and I, we're also heavily into the newer bands that have taken that sound, just a little bit further
Yeah.
with the spooky sounds, or some of the sci-fi surf stuff. I like that a lot.
Oh yeah.
And my goal, and I think as the band, is to find a nice medium where we can present new and old together and mix it well
Yeah.
enough that people are like, heck yeah, this is kicking.
So when I talk to newer surf fans, um, I mean, when I say newer, like ones that are starting out right at the moment and they're in
Right.
their formative stages, while they're, trying to write, you know, it's just a handful of material to put out or to represent, their style. They got to fill that amount of time during their shows with other covers kind of done in, your style. um how about each of you, I'm sure you have stuff in mind. Why don't each of you give me one song that you think you would love to have in your repertoire as kind of making your own in your set.
Well, I, as far as the old bands go, I really, really love the Astronauts.
Yeah.
I like their vocal stuff. I mean, that's fun, but their instrumental stuff to me is the ultimate classic surf sound. I don't think anyone's ever duplicated that, the reverb and the drip that they have. Um, but one song that we are working on, we're not doing it right now, is Hot Doggin'. Since I first heard the Phil Dirt show back in the 80s at a KFJC in Los Altos Hills, that was my intro to surf music for I don't know how many years, 10 years, 15. That song has always been just one of my top favorite songs. That and Ricketek by the Lively Ones.
Okay.
And that's a tough bass line. I've tried to figure it out, and I'm not even close, so I'm not even touching that one yet.
Rick?
So I'm kind of dipping and dodging baby stuff here and there.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, yeah. So if I mute really quick, that's why.
Oh,
Um, like I said, I'm very, very new. I mean, these guys, like, the encyclopedic knowledge on surf rock is just insane. So I'm kind of just like getting the pieces. But the one that I really love that we've kind of thrown in the set, but right now we're not focusing on, but eventually we'll get back in the mix, is Bombora.
mm,
Super, super rad sound. Especially the old recordings. So this is going to be very embarrassing. Someone tell me who's the original.
The
Safari.
original Safaris.
There we go. Thank you.
yeah.
I mean, I was just telling them, like, those old recordings, as far as the drumming goes, like, the rhythm section was playing stuff that didn't exist because literally that style didn't exist. So as a drummer who's, again, so used to doing covers that are like, from the 2000s and above, hearing this drumming style that's like insane. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not intuitive. It's just got this chaos, but that's kind of what's fun about it, is it does have this like energy of these teenagers making up a style in real time. So Bambora, I think for me, just from coming from the drummer standpoint, has that the most in it. So I want to tackle that one.
Awesome. Awesome. And lastly, what would yours be?
Well, I mean, to give some credit where it's due at this point, the two videos that we have posted are different covers. We did Cat on a Hot Foam Board is the latest one by the New Dimensions. That's been covered by a ton of people. And then Facing the Wave by the Fusiyama Surfers out of Japan.
Oh yeah.
Um, and
It's
both
good
those
stuff.
are just super fun to play. Ton of energy, lot of fun, just kind of really fit, as far as you're talking fitting covers in with,
Yeah.
our sound. I'd say those two definitely come to mind.
Awesome. Awesome. I have one last question before we start we start wrapping it up. What do you think of what Arno Desir is doing? Like his style of surf music, what he calls brutal surf.
I'm
From
not familiar with them.
Can you
the
repeat that?
Irradiates and Arno Desir and the Clockwork Wizards.
Gotcha. That is a rabbit hole I have not fallen down yet, to be honest.
Okay.
Me either.
All right. Irradiates, they were at SG 101 last year.
Yeah, I missed
know that
it, so I
name.
didn't get to see them.
Yeah, he's in that band, and then he has his like solo stuff, which is even like it's like death metal on surf. It's like insane.
Oh, I would like to hear that then. I'm going to look that up.
Really good.
I
Yeah.
like the sound of brutal surf. That's
Yeah,
already
that's what he calls it. It's like wow. Arno Desir, ARNODE space CEA.
Got it.
Yeah. So before we go, I want to put out a chance for you to mention something I haven't asked about, or maybe ask me a question. Um, and then we'll say goodbye and let you guys have a great rest of your night. Well, anything you'd like to add?
Uh, December 7th at Kelly's Olympian in Portland. Come check us out with the Beat On Brats, a Ramones cover band, and the Devotees, a Devo tribute band. It should be a really, really good show.
I just saw that flyer. It's pretty
Okay.
pretty rad.
Yeah, we definitely picked all the fast songs from our longer set for that. Since we're playing with a couple of punk bands, we figured we'd try to bring as much energy as we could to that show. So
Yeah, like just to give you a sneak peek on in the set list, I have a line marked on where it just becomes hell for me. Like relative, like they're all very hard, but there's the last 4 or 5 tracks in particular, like I gotta go.
Those
We
are
were
the
just talking
drumstick
about
breakers.
another dimension. You got to go into another dimension where you can actually play this and just kind of fake it till you make it. So it's gonna be a super fun set, super fun show.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys so much, and I want
Thanks for
everybody.
having us. Thank you.
Thank you. We're gonna put a link in the description to their Instagram page. This brand new band from Oregon, the Von Dwells. Everybody, keep an eye out for them. They're really gonna blow your mind when things start getting rolling. And thank you guys so much for being on the show.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so
perfect.
much.
Thank you, Ryan.